Nice. What is up, everybody? I can see some people already with us. That's really fast. What's up, Music Chick Art, my friend? Good to see you.
Hello.
I got my friend. I'm going to point the right direction. You ready? Whoa, I did it.
Oh, I did it wrong.
Oh, because it's whatever I think it is.
You have practice. This
it's
is
the other way. Whatever I think it is, it's the other way.
Well, that's what I was trying to fix my hair earlier, and I was like, what's
right.
head am I pointing to?
Right. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. Heather, can you see the chat? I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you
maybe. Has anybody said anything yet?
Yeah, a couple people. We've got Margie here with us tonight.
Yeah.
We've got
I see a couple good evenings. I see Tom's here.
Good to see you.
Facebook user. Yes, I can see them. I was
Sweet. We're going to have some fun tonight, guys. Hopefully all of you guys already know my guest, so she's not new to you at all. Oh, but if she is, this is going to be fun because you're going to get to learn more about her and more about what she does. And I know I'm going to learn some stuff because she knows a lot of things that I don't know. So I'm going to try to take some notes here. It'll be fun if I can do that. We'll see. Oh, we got a bunch of people are jumping on. We got 20, almost 25 people already. That's great. We've only been on for what, 2 minutes, a minute and a half. So that's awesome. I'm gonna have to have you on more often. I realize what's wrong is I'm not having you. That's the problem. That's great.
Well, vice versa, sir. Because when I started out in the laser world, it was your shop that I was buying from, and you're the one that got me going. So,
well, okay. So we'll just talk for a minute or two while people are getting on here. What's up, Crystal in the house? Good to see you, my friend. Danny McManus, Deborah, Contrary Mary. What's up from Texas? Mr. Will Louis in the house, so we gotta straighten up a little bit. Yeah. Dad.
Mark, did you have a chance to catch up on the group chat yet?
Not in the last couple of hours, no.
They've challenged me to something fun for this live, which will also be fun for you.
Then I'm scared because I don't know what that is, and I can't catch up.
They've given me keywords that I need to somehow mention throughout the course of the live.
Oh, so we're gonna play like buzzword bingo somehow. Yes. Okay.
So if I say something like super random, it's because it's probably one of the words that they challenge.
So is it like somebody drinks every time you say it? Is that what happens?
I don't know. I think you know how that group goes. They just run with it.
Oh, Will says it's his idea, so we know it's not good.
I told him the only way I would play is if it wasn't offensive because this group is wholesome.
that's right. Thank you for defending us. Yes,
you're welcome.
Well, we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, Music Chick Art said I googled Heather before the show. I haven't heard of her before, so thank you for having her on. Fantastic. Actually, we're excited about meeting new people.
That's exciting. I didn't even know I was Googleable.
Well, I was going to tell you about the things you'd find on there, but I figured I want to tell you after.
Mark, do you know who that is? Do you know what user that is? That Music Chick Art?
Yes. You're going to embarrass me now. Music Chick Art. Every time you're on here, see. Okay, so I always got to remember who my friend actually is. I wasn't even
trying to call you out. I was just wondering if I knew who it was. The name.
You do. Let me think, because her name is Music Chick Art on Instagram also, and that's how I know her. Okay, go ahead and let me off. It's Laura Evans. Thank you.
Yes, I knew that name.
Yes, she does.
I feel like the business name sounded familiar, but I wanted to know what your actual name was. So hello. Thank you for being here.
John Aguilar, alcohol poisoning. Nice. Is that what we're doing? Okay. Cool. Amanda's on here with us. This is going to be fun.
Yay. Oh, Amanda did a live earlier. She did her first post-work live, and it was super fun, and we got to see the newest colors that were released today for Cerulean Tides.
Yeah,
super fun.
That was cool. Somebody just said every time that Heather's accent shows, take a shot.
Wait, who is that? It says Facebook user. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to get my iPad out and see.
You all have
who that is. What is up, Aaron McCall Goff? Good to see you. You said the first time you caught a live. That's awesome. I'm glad you made it. Big John is who that is.
So is that John Aguilar?
That's my guess. Yes.
It is John Aguilar. Look at that. Crystal, can you teach your husband how to give StreamYard permission?
Nice. Well, it's going to be fun. Let's do what we always do right when we first start. Let's do the obligatory where you're from and what's the weather. So everybody, tell us where you're watching from. Tell us what the weather is there. Heather, what's the weather where you are?
I am in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and today we're actually getting like a fall day today. It's the seasons change by the day here these days. So we had a little bit of summer yesterday. We actually get some fall today. We had the heat on a couple days ago. Now we have the air on again, so it's fine. It stopped raining. It rained for almost 6 days straight last week, so that really messed up. I don't know if whoever knows me, we're in the process of moving from here to my mom's house, which she lives like 20 minutes away, because we're next year relocating to Florida. And of course, as soon as we said we wanted to start packing and moving, it rained for a week. So
of course it did.
We said it, we told the universe, and you know how
Yeah, that's my version of that is every time I say I'm going to go camping, the weather gets horrible.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I haven't figured out how to sneak camping onto the universe. Like I can't seem to pull that off. So
Mother Nature always knows you're coming.
I know, just all the time. We've got, let me see, we got Suffolk, Virginia, and it's getting chilly outside. Aaron, tell us what chilly actually is, because we all define chilly differently. So tell me what that means. We got Alaska, light clouds and 38. So you guys are still in shorts in Alaska, right?
Toronto, and we had somebody earlier from Australia.
Nice.
That's so fun. Georgia, nice. You guys are everywhere.
It's great. All over the place. Yes, Arkansas, a little cool at the moment. Right now in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it is 72 degrees.
Nice.
Yes, that's pretty cool.
A nice 72? You got like a nice breeze?
It really is nice. Yeah, it's really great today. It's been really nice.
How did the whole gathering go with you and Will and everyone with the hangout?
Oh, it was great. We had a great time. So for those of you guys who don't know, we had a next level hangout on Saturday and Sunday here in Tulsa, or technically Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And we did the same thing both days, just with two different groups. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, I will tell you that Will and I were both.
I couldn't come. I'm like, they're already doing it without us.
No. We were talking about how to get to different places.
Left behind.
Stop it. Nope. No, we're really excited about doing some more. We're looking at doing a couple in Texas because we know some people there. And then we've been talking about where all of you guys live and thinking, okay, can we go to Philly? Can we go to Florida?
The East Coast, because anybody, like, even if you pick like the middle of the East Coast, like the New Yorkers and like the people up in the Northeast can come down, the Floridians and whatnot can come up.
Well, the deal, what we've been thinking about, hey, everybody else.
Casey Cruz's
his grand opening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
me and Heather can have a conversation here just for a minute. Everybody else, y'all just listen in. We're just gonna have so what we've been talking about is we want to do kind of two types of things. We want to do just a hangout where users get together, get to know each other, and maybe we share some some best practices and some ideas, but kind of a low level, just get to know people. And then we want to do the conference level. And so we kind of want to do the two different levels. And so we kind of, I mean, we would never stop anybody from coming to anything, but we're not, the idea is not for us to just like come to Philly and everybody on the East Coast fly in, because we're more trying to just do kind of a general neighborhood. So he and I are trying to figure out how to make that affordable for us, because of course we'll be flying all over the place. Yeah. And we don't want to stick that bill, everybody with the bill of us flying around. So we're not totally sure how to do that, but we're going to figure it out if we can. Like one of the things we're looking at for Texas, everybody, is we're looking at San Antonio and Houston, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, because we can drive between those two. So that would be kind of fun. I think from what I understand, it's a 3 hour, 3-4 hours, something like that. So we could drive between the two. So maybe we can go to other places like on the East Coast and just fly, go to one place, drive to another place and fly back. So we'll see what we can do. But
which is totally doable East Coast wise. Like even if you did like a New York and then went to like Maryland or something, you know what I mean? Somewhere where the drive is just a few hours, but a vast enough drive that then you could get the people that from the South could come up a little bit less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had a great, it was so much fun.
The conference was so fun. I can't wait for another one.
Oh, we're ready. And I will tell you, everybody, we're looking at, and I will say we're looking like we're in the looking stages, but we are looking right now, looking at Dallas right now, because it's a central hub for flying. And then we're looking at some stuff on the East Coast. So just letting you know, 2023, we're coming at you, hopefully. And Heather's coming at you because and she's going to have to say no because we're inviting her. So she's coming.
Oh, I'm coming.
All right. Then we're all in. It's going to be great. We got the team, man. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we can't not come now. Like we're a team.
Absolutely. We're a package deal.
Jinx.
Yeah, right. So let's kind of get started talking about you for a little bit. For those people who don't know you, kind of introduce yourself. And while you're introducing yourself, let's do what we've done before. Tell them how you got into your laser journey, what that looked like, and kind of give us the Reader's Digest from birth till today. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know, everybody, who you are.
Version of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So I started as a Glowforge Pro owner in 2019. So the funny story about that is I saw the advertisement on Facebook. It was just like a clickbait ad, and I have no self-control. So as soon as I saw it, I needed it, and I spent $6,000 on it. Well, so I Googled and I found a referral code. At that time, I didn't even know the groups existed. Yeah. I was just Googling because every time you could buy something online, you can find a coupon code for it. So I was like, I'm not paying full price for this thing. There's got to be a coupon code. So I found a coupon code. I found a referral code from some guy named Chris. I didn't even know who he was. I just found like his random blog. And then after I got my Glowforge and started realizing, I forget how I got into the group. I think I saw a mention of the Glowforge user group in the forum, on the Glowforge forum. And then when I got into the group at that time, it was like, honestly, it was like just shy of like 20,000 members. Like it was like still a smaller, like not that it's like over 40,000, I think now.
Right.
I remember at that time thinking like, wow, people actually use like Facebook groups. Like I didn't like actually know that was a thing at the time. Right. And then like the more I looked, I was like, oh my God, there's so many of them. Like there was like learning groups and like design groups and so many things that were like Glowforge related, but like not a lot of stuff on YouTube. So like it was a lot of me like getting to know people, getting to know other users, finding your shop, Mark, finding like other people. Like I really liked Wild Pilot's florals at the time. I was buying my files. I was not designing anything. So I have a graphic design degree from 2005. I've never used it. I work in IT. I've never used my design degree for anything other than just like my own stuff. I'm also a calligrapher, but that's like just like a freelance kind of thing. Like I've never really done anything design really like professionally. And then once I realized that like I could use Adobe Illustrator from like the Adobe Illustrator I knew from, what was that? What's 2019 minus 2005? Like long time. Like I'm old. So once I realized that I was like, it's the same. Like I remember like things had changed, but the core of it was the same. So once I realized that I could start designing my own laser files, I was like, oh, well, I got this.
Right.
And that's when I started. So May of 2020, I think I was probably just shy of like just a little over 6 months into my business. And I started the Procreate laser learning platform. It was a play on words at the time because I still had a Glowforge. Like I didn't want to use the Glowforge like brand, but I used, look at you. Nice plug there.
Yep.
But I started Procreate because the glow was like the laser beam, and then the create part was the design side of it. But it was also like kind of a play on the Glowforge at the time. So it worked well for me. And I really liked the fact that it also rhymed with Procreate because I was using Procreate for design. So it took on its own like meaning here and there. But that's when I started the group. And the more I started the group and the more I started talking to other designers that like had been using Adobe Illustrator, but not the way that we need it to be used. So like expanding strokes and expanding things like that where like the graphic design steps, like process stops here, but the laser design process, you need a few more steps. So that's where I just really needed to learn that. And the more I learned it, the more I was like, I need to share this. Like I need like as many people have paid their knowledge forward to me, I need to now find somewhere where I can share everything that I've learned like all in one spot. Yeah. Whether it be like my group or my channel, like I have a free YouTube channel. On my Instagram, I share like tons of tips, but like my goal has always been, I started with limited resources, and you know how it was in the groups at the time. Like sometimes I could ask questions, but sometimes people were like, figure it out on your own. Like we were in like this weird, if you got the right person at the right time, they would help you. But other than that, it was kind of like you're on your own. And I wanted to make sure that there was a place where I could say like, oh, go here. And I have a ton of tutorials on Adobe Illustrator, or I have a ton of tutorials on Procreate. And like, here's the difference between the two so that you understand that like, you can only go so far with Procreate. I love Procreate, but it really helped me to be able to explain to people the difference between the programs and the reasons why either program exists and why I use both of them like interchangeably. And it just spiraled from there. Last year, was it last year? Yeah, fall of last year, Crystal Aguila, Riley Black Designs, and Emily Caroline over at That Mom with a Laser, we brainstormed and we decided to take a course together to learn how to launch digital courses. Nice. Because we knew that not the market, but we knew that the community was looking for something that was very like curriculum centric, not like go to YouTube, watch, like I love YouTube, but if I want to learn something from beginning to end, like I don't need the ads. Like I would rather pay a little bit and get it all from beginning to end. So we each had our own little niche, and Crystal did Silhouette and I did Adobe Illustrator and Procreate, and Emily did Lightburn and laser education. And it was just like, we knew that this was where this is like something that the laser world was missing at the time. And our goal wasn't to market it as like a profit machine. It was more to make sure that people had a way to go here and it'll teach you everything from beginning to end. Like you won't have to search. You won't have to figure out what a knockout is called or what an offset is called. Like the struggles that I spent 3 hours one night, I think, trying to figure out what a knockout and an offset was. And then once I did it, I was like, I didn't know how to do this. Like, I just didn't know what it was called.
Yes.
So
that's real, isn't it? Finding the terminology, right? Sometimes we're like, oh, I don't know what that's called. Or maybe there's not a right answer. There's just different answers. Yeah.
That was like my biggest thing. And I said that to Crystal Aguila when I was talking to her the one day. I was like, the majority of what I was Googling, like it probably was out there had I known what to Google. But you don't, you know what I mean? Like you say like, oh, I like how this looks. And you can't tell Google that like you like how this font looks expanded with an offset. And you know what I mean? And then once you see it, you're like, come on. Like, it's that easy. I just needed to know what it was called.
Exactly. So everybody, we're going to talk about it throughout here, but here's a couple of her links here on the screen. So glowcreatecourses.com. I know you just touched on that just a minute ago, but would you just kind of give them an encapsulation of what those courses are about, kind of what they cover a little bit? Can you tell them about that?
Yeah, so I have AI for Lasers, which is my signature course, which goes over how to use Adobe Illustrator for desktop from beginning to end for laser design. So I go over, if you've never used Adobe Illustrator before, I start you right from the beginning. We go over the user interface, specific designs, creating keychains, creating picture frames, learning kerf, everything laser design, everything laser related that you would need to know for Adobe Illustrator is in my AI for Lasers course. And then my other course is Procreate Basics, which goes, it's called a mini course because it started out as a mini course, but I've added so much into it that I'm about to revamp it just as a regular course. But it is included in my Glow Create course bundle where I'll teach you same thing, Procreate for iPad from beginning to end, everything that you would need to know to use it for not just laser design, but designs as a whole. So I teach you how to use the blurs and clipping, masks, colors, things that don't image trace well, but things that will help you to create your own visual designs for social media, logos, pretty much anything you need.
That's great. I love it. So guys, definitely check it out. We both understand that everything we do is not for everybody, but it is for somebody. So check it out because this may actually be exactly what you were looking for, exactly what you need. So please go to glowcreatecourses.com and check that out.
And my YouTube is also linked on there. So if you want to check out like how I teach, some people, I know I've never had a complaint about it, but I know I talk fast. So I like to tell people to watch a couple of my tutorials. Just see if you like the way I teach. See if you like the way that I show things on my screen. Make sure you can follow along. Like some people don't vibe. And I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but there are a ton of free tutorials on my channel that you can look at to kind of get a feel for how I teach, what I teach.
Yes.
and whatever else.
And I will tell you, of course, we can't guarantee it, but I'm going to tell you 99% she's going to be live at our conferences too. So if you get a chance to and you want to learn in person here in a handful of months, I will be telling you about some places you can come and learn from her in person. So either way, check her out on YouTube, check her out on our glowcreatecourses.com either way, because I think you'll really enjoy learning from there. So tell us in the comments, everybody. I'm curious. How many of you guys, first of all, how many of you guys use Procreate? Or let me back up. How many of you guys have Procreate and maybe you don't use Procreate, you want to learn? Now just kind of get an idea if there's anybody out there. Tell us in the comments, do you use Procreate at all? And if you have any challenges with it, because I also know that she can answer some questions pretty quickly too.
Yes, for sure.
For sure. So I see one person says, I have it, but I don't really use it. Is that because it's a challenge or because it doesn't fit your needs? Tell us more about that. Victor, look at that. I have it, but I didn't use it until I met Heather.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's so exciting.
It is, especially him, man, because he's so great. We love you, Victor, or Hector, sorry.
Hector's Vectors coming soon.
Excellent. Oh, in fact, Lisa, I'm gonna start that question because we're gonna come to that. She's asking what the best laser machine is, and I would love to hear Heather's opinion in just a minute. We'll hold on to that one for just a moment, and we'll come back to that. Christy says I've had Procreate for about 2 weeks. I'll put it. Whoop. Wow, you guys are commenting quickly. This is great. I actually watched her YouTube videos Friday. Definitely looking at her courses. That's great.
And I'm always around, like if you're watching my videos or if you're watching my tutorials in my group, I'm almost always available through messaging. So just if you have questions or if you get hung up at a spot, feel free to message me because I can send you video clips or recordings, like voice memos, and kind of just walk you through specifically like what design. Mark, I'm sure you know, it's so much easier in direct messages and private messages to teach people like where are you at, like show me your design, show me what you were working with so I can show you exactly what you need to do, because it's so much less time consuming for them to reach out and just be like, I'm stuck. Where do
and let me ask you a question. I know the answer to. I'm going to set you up for an answer because I realize we probably didn't say it when you were describing your courses. Are your courses recorded or are they live?
They're recorded.
Good. And I think the reason that's great is because people can watch it at their own pace, right?
And they have lifetime access. So as I make updates to the course, anybody that's already a course member doesn't have to pay extra or anything as I add continuous content. Because I have Mark, I think we're the same human. Every time I look at my own content, I'm consistently like, oh, what can I change? What can I add? What else
can I get better? Right. It's so true. We're both like that. So if you guys are even considering her courses, just know that one of the many positives, one of the positive things is that you can watch at your own pace, rewind, watch again, rewind, watch again. And of course you can message her. And I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Do you also have a group for your members too?
I do. Right? Yes. So anybody that purchases the Glow Create bundle, there's a students and graduates Facebook group for everyone that's been in that course, which I'm starting to love. It was quiet at first, obviously, because they're, you know what I mean, I was just getting started. But now I got so much feedback from my, I think, what did I call it? Ambassadors. So my ambassadors were my first round students that signed up in the first, I think I did 48 hours. And those were the students that gave me the most feedback during my first semester, so that I was able to literally almost fully revamp my courses or add a ton more to my courses because I had them. I had people as they were asking me questions, I was like, oh, you know what? That I can slide that into this section, or I can make a note here, because there's constant upgrades. As soon as I pushed my course live, Procreate moved the streamline function from one menu to another. So then everyone was asking me.
So, sorry. I'm not sure who this is. Link to the course right there. There you go. It's funny. I'm trying to click on these different comments and they're moving kind of quickly. So I'm having to chase them up the screen, which is a great problem to have. This is a good question. What do you think about this? Just wondering if there's any difference between using Procreate on different sized tablets.
It's all a matter of a personal preference. I personally have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro because I prefer the larger screen, but that's mostly because of hand lettering. So it really just depends on what you're going to be using it for and what kind. I guess compare it to whether you would prefer having like a 5x7 pad of paper to draw on or a larger one. For hand lettering, for me, especially when I'm doing like thick brush lettering in Procreate, the larger canvases and the larger screen really works well for me because I have more space. Technically, I can fit the same design on the smaller one. It's just visually, I prefer the larger screen. But
well, the nice thing, as opposed to a piece of paper that can't get any bigger, you can zoom in, right? So that's great. But that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. That's great. By the way, just a little side note, I have got an iPad right here. I've got my computer right there, and I've got my laptop in the middle, and I keep putting my hand on the wrong mouse. Like, what is wrong here?
You ever, like I did the other day, I was writing on my dry erase board, and I tapped.
You tapped your erase board? Yeah.
To erase it, and I was like, this is not my iPad.
Yeah. Yep.
I still somebody asked if I have any free tutorials on Procreate for beginners. I do on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of free tutorials for Procreate on there. So
right here.
Yep.
Right there, everybody. So by the way, I don't want to assume, so I'm going to say this. Everybody go to that and subscribe to her channel. Click that little bell and subscribe to it because that'll help you. And it'll help her too. And go ahead and like a bunch of things and leave comments there. Yes. Let me ask you a question, Heather. I think I know the answer to this, but I love getting questions anywhere, whether it's on Facebook or a Messenger or a YouTube or my website or groups. But at times I find myself chasing questions because I can't remember where it came from. Does that ever happen to you? Like, like today I was on my phone talking to somebody, chatting with them, and I saw a notification pop up that had a question in it, and I swiped it away. And then later I'm like, oh crap, where was that? I don't remember where, and I had to go back and find it. So I will speak for both of us, for me specifically. If I don't respond fairly quickly, ping me again because I probably just lost you, honestly. So sorry about that.
And if there's anything like missing from my channel, so my goal of my platform, like while I have paid courses and I have obviously paid things because it's a business, I have to make some money here and there. Sure. My goal with Procreate has always been free. My goal has always been there, whether you want to watch my course pre-recorded, no advertisements, like I host my course on Kajabi. Kajabi costs $200 a month to host my course. So like I have to make money on my course in order to be able to afford to keep my course out there. But I also want to make sure that for those who aren't interested in paid courses, aren't budgeting right now for paid courses, that the same exact info that I teach in my courses is available either in my learning group or on my channel, because I don't want there to be that gap where and I can't afford to learn this, or I haven't budgeted to learn that. So like that's always been my goal. So if you see something that you really want to learn and it's not on my channel and you really would like to see my way of doing it, like please feel free to message me because I love suggestions.
And so the upside, one of the many upsides of doing the course is that it's all put together in a neat, concise order and in a logical order.
The correct timeline, how you should learn it. That way it's not overwhelming, because I think, Mark, as well as I do, the AI interface is very overwhelming for a beginner user. There are buttons everywhere, sometimes not set up correctly. Like one of the biggest things that I learned when I first launched my very first semester earlier this year, was that Windows users and Mac users, their like layout isn't defaulted to the same way that ours is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I wound up adding a section into my course that was like, here's how to set your screen up. Like I have my screen set up that way. Yeah. It wasn't like, where's the layers panel? Like, where's the image trace? Like and then somebody, I think it might've been Amanda Levitt. Somebody said that their workspace kept default, like as much as they kept setting it to what they wanted to, they would close it and reopen and it would set back to the other way. So there were things that I learned about AI during the course launch that really helped me to revamp for the second launch, because I was like, okay, like things that I never would have thought of, that people would be like, oh, I really would like it if you would show me like this. So I just started adding stuff. So anything that somebody asked me just became a new thing that I could either create a tutorial on or add to my course or both.
Well, and one of the many strengths that Illustrator has that also, I can't say it's a weakness, it's just a challenge, is that you can lay your tools out kind of however you prefer them to be.
Yes.
And you can hide some and show some others and, all that kind of stuff. And I immediately forget that because, of course, the only Illustrator I see is mine.
Of course.
And
Right.
then I tell people, oh, that's the Pathfinder Unite or minus front.
Right.
That's down in the bottom right corner of your screen. And then I realize, oh, hold on.
Probably not there for you.
Probably
Yeah.
not there. Right. Or this happens to me. I got a good friend that I work with in my office now named Tyler, and we both use Illustrator, but we have really different skill sets and strengths. And so at least once a week, one of us is telling about the feature to the other guy, and we're going like, how long has that been there? 12 years,
Yeah.
like he's constantly telling me about brushes, because I don't use a lot of brushes because I'm not good at that. And then I taught him just last week about guidelines.
Oh.
So, it just, however you use.
It's whatever you use, like you say, like it's there. Like I tell people, like there are rulers there. There's guidelines there, things that I don't personally use, but there's a ton of stuff in there that it's just, it can be super overwhelming. And like, you don't think about it until you talk to the biggest thing that I got last semester was how they hide the tools for AI, like in the little sub menus. Yeah. So I would say like, oh, go click on the rectangle tool. But the last tool that they had selected was like the circle tool. So they would say like, oh, all I see is a circle. And I would have to explain that there's like a little sub menu in there, because I mean, it's nonsense that there's not like a little, like, it's just like a triangle. Like, it doesn't even really tell you that there's another menu.
Well, in fact, I want to grab this question in just a second, but while you're on that topic, I've used in Photoshop, I use the gradient tool all the time. Well, I used to. And then I don't know, something happened and the icon was no longer on my left side. And I couldn't find it. And of course, in my brain, I forgot that I can just go up and type in the search. I forgot completely about that. So I spent a couple days Googling where the crap is and I forgot that I could just type that, Here's a good question. Do you have an outline of all that's offered in your course?
I have a course timeline that I can share. I don't know if it's on the website details everything that I'll go over, but I do have a specific course timeline that I can share if you want to add it to the feed after this, Mark.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, Crystal, we feel you here. Victor taught me stuff in Silhouette I didn't know existed.
I taught Victor something that he didn't know existed in AI.
What?
I'm the hotkey. I love hotkeys. All things hotkeys. If I could throw my mouse out the window and never have to use it again, I would. Yeah. But so switching from stroke to fill is Shift X. And I think he said something like, I never even knew that was a thing before.
Wow. Okay, everybody else, pause for a second. Mark's going to have just a 60-second lesson because I need to know something. And let me see if I can stump you, because I don't know.
I'm scared.
Well, there's something that happens to me every day and I don't know why it happens.
Okay.
In Illustrator we're talking about.
Okay.
So when I go to change the stroke or fill of something, now I was going to tell you where it is, but of course we could have it in different places. But for me, if I'm changing the stroke or fill color for me, it's on the top left where there's the, I don't have it in front of me right now. Actually, I'm going to open it right now. Okay. Yeah. So on my top left, I've got stroke and fill colors. And when I hit the down arrow by those, like right now, there's no colors there. There's just the none, and there's no other colors there. Do you have any idea why that happens, or do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you share your screen?
I can. Everybody, hold on just a minute while Mark has a personal lesson here. Give me just a second. I will do that because it drives me nuts, and I cannot figure out, because it does it. I'm sure there's computers are logical, right?
Yes.
But I don't know why.
Are you Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Okay.
All right. So here's an example. I'm working on a shelf right now, but right here, can you see this up here in the corner?
Yeah.
If I hit the down arrow, there's no colors.
Did you click?
I did. It's just, oh, it doesn't show I forgot on StreamYard.
Oh, it doesn't show your sub menus? Yeah, it does
No.
that to me. So I've noticed that mine does that, but only when I open certain file types. So like if I start from like scratch on like a regular document, I'll have all my colors in there. But if I open like somebody else's file, or if I open like an SVG file, like not the AI file, sometimes I lose my colors altogether. And I'm such like, I have no patience. So I'll just do like a Control A, cut the whole thing, and then create a new create a new document.
Okay, I'll try that. So I'm going to start paying attention to what file format I'm in to see if that has any bearing on what's going on.
Or send it to me next time and see if mine behaves the same way. That way we know if it's
okay. Yeah, it's frustrating because obviously, I can get around it, but it's just irritating.
Yeah.
All right, so back to everybody else. Sorry about that. That was just a little lesson there. So let's go ahead and just grab this question that Lisa has. She says, new here, what's the best laser machine? Obviously, best is going to be obviously subjective.
Yes.
And but what Lisa, Heather and I will talk about that now. But I guess I will say this before we start. Best is best for what and who, right?
Correct.
Let's say you wanted to engrave tumblers. Well, that helps us a lot know what's on the table and off the table, right? Or if you want to do really large things, well, then obviously certain lasers are not even an option for you. Okay. So Lisa, let us know in the chat what your thoughts are, what you're looking for, and we can help you a little bit more. But let's just assume in general that she's looking for a Glowforge, generally a Glowforge sized, somewhere on the 12 by 20-ish. And then let's give her our opinions there, and then we'll see if she comes back to tell us more what she's looking for.
Do you want to start?
No, you go for it. What are your thoughts on that that general size?
So personal experience, I started with a Glowforge Pro. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the Glowforge desktop laser, because I didn't even know what lasers were at that time. So while I eventually did upgrade from a Glowforge to a Mira, the decision to do so would not have been the same had I been starting out with him. I feel like I would have never just dove right in and purchased like a Mira 9 commercial size laser and dropped it in my dining room. So like you said, Mark, it's all about like, how much room do you have? How much space do you need? Do you want to run jobs in a timely manner? I'm trying to be professional, but Glowforges are not speedy. Right. So there are those, if you're just looking for, I mean, people run substantial businesses with Glowforges. So, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you have the time to dedicate or can reallocate while something's running, you're doing this and that kind of a thing.
Yep.
It's really just a matter of what fits who best. And I love the fact that I started with a Glowforge, because even on the learning side, when my students ask me questions or when my group members ask me questions, like I'm able to speak firsthand of Glowforge as an owner and as somebody who had a bit of issue with their Glowforge. So like I'm as much as I had a little bit of a negative ending to my Glowforge journey, I'm super thankful for being a Glowforge owner, how it all went, because it all led me down a path of learning and knowing more about how the machines work, more about what machines are capable of which. But yeah, I mean, I would never, I'm still a Glowforge affiliate. Are we affiliates? What are they called?
Yeah. Whatever. Sure.
We still promote I'm still a Glowforge advocate. I know that not everybody can fit a 500-pound glow or commercial size laser in their dining room like I have. So yeah, I highly recommend obviously doing your research, but yeah, it's all about just make sure you do your research. Make sure that you know how long your jobs are going to take, if what you're going to be using it for. Make sure you do those things. Because I think that was the one thing that surprised me as a Glowforge owner, is that things took longer than I thought they were.
Let me speak more to. We have two Lisas asking two different questions. I want to get to both of them, so I want to follow up with the Lisa that asked us the question about this. Lisa, I see that you said that you are starting a home-based business, which high five. That is awesome. We are so proud of you and excited for you. That is super cool. So we hope you have a great time with that. And we, meaning the two of us, but also everybody here is here to help you. So jump in some groups. I don't know what groups you're in, but there's a lot of great groups. Yes, Facebook to jump in. Lots of great groups, including mine, but not limited to mine. There's lots of great ones. So get in there with some good people. But why don't you tell us, if you don't mind, in the chat, what kind of business you want to do? Because still, the type of business you want to do will help us dial into what the best, I was going to say best Glowforge, best laser is for you. Because it really depends on what you're doing. If you're doing something that, for example, the size matters, then maybe a Glowforge work, maybe it won't. Depends. If you're doing a lot of engraving, I would say that the Glowforge is pretty slow. But also budget matters too, and that may be something you do or don't want to share. So what we can just talk about it, Heather. In general, the Glowforges,
but budget these days for Glowforges, I mean, they've pretty significantly increased their prices. So I don't even know. Do they still have the upper hand when it comes to pricing, or can you get a mirror?
Well, they do on the lower end. The basic is still kind of hard to compete with financially for other people. Okay. Because like Mira, which we both love, the Mira 5 is still way, several $1,000s above the Glowforge basic.
Okay.
And then there's the I don't know how to say it, Gwaiki Cloud, which is still really new. And so
MakerBox has, was that X-Tool MakerBox?
I think that's right. So there's several out there, but as far as lots and lots of support, there's not a lot yet. So if you're in the
Glowforge is not there for support, just an FYI. I hate to say that because sometimes they are, but be very mindful that the customer service aspect on the Glowforge side is lacking.
It is, but I will tell you, there's a ton of us that can help. Lisa's torn to get the Glowforges. You're only able to use their system. I'm not sure what you mean, so let me answer what that means. You can use any design, any vector, or actually raster, any vector design program you want. I've been using Illustrator for several years. I know Heather does too. Yep. You only have to use their website to send the job to the machine. Right. And if I were to isolate that, let me make a comment about that. I don't know of any, I could be wrong, but I don't know of any laser that can use more than one program to connect to it that I know of. I could be wrong, but I think, like, for example, Mira's use Lightburn. I don't think they use anything other than Lightburn, do they?
I think maybe RD works. I think the only thing that I would, highlight on that topic is the fact that Glowforge goes down at times. And
because it's online. So I was going to split those two topics for a second. Is most lasers I know of are limited in the program that controls the laser.
For sure.
And then the downside of Glowforge is that it's online only. And so if either your internet is down or Glowforge is down, then you're down. Right. So that is a big downside. So that is the big deal. But as far as designing, you can use anything you want to design and then just upload to it and go. So split those two hairs there. I don't feel like there's any legitimate concern over what you're allowed to use for the Glowforge to design in, because you can do anything you want. That's no big deal. The fact that it's online is potentially a challenge for people. So definitely don't run over that too fast. Definitely be aware of that for sure.
And if you are going the Glowforge route, you don't necessarily need the premium side of things if you're going to be designing in another software. So if you don't want to worry about that extra cost of needing the premium feature where you can use it for the design side of things, like you can get Inkscape is still free, right, Mark?
It is.
And then I think Silhouette is $100-ish, something.
Yeah, under $100. Yeah.
So, and they all pay for themselves if you put them to work, like they
Yep.
can work for you. So
Yep. We both use Illustrator, but by no means do we think that that's the only thing you can use.
right.
You can use whatever you want. That's just what we prefer. So, Lisa, you asked, is their website hard to use? It is stupid easy. Really, really easy.
Yeah. Doesn't get much easier.
No, it does not. I will tell me if you agree with this, Heather. If I was to split all of your time into, 100% of your time, if you're a new owner, I would spend, gosh, I don't know, 75% of my time learning a design program.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good number, but a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Versus just dropping it into the GFUI and changing your settings. Yeah.
Yeah. Or honestly, any other place I spend my time, the better you get at the design side of things, you can either make your own stuff, which we would love to help you with. And by the way, look at this. I sell designs. Okay. And I'm telling you that I want to help you if you want to learn how to make your own. Okay. Yep.
I love it.
And I are both
and all I want people to do is sell designs. I sell designs. I used to buy Mark's. I still buy Mark's designs, but I started out buying Mark's designs, and we both want you to make your own designs and sell your own designs because it's free money and it's so much fun.
Well, wait, hold on. It's a long way from free.
Well, I mean, if you don't have like hoarding and
right. I mean, I was talking the other day about how much I spend just to have my business, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, here's the thing: Heather and I both want you guys to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. And if you, because there's a lot of people who have thought through the process and they say, you know what, I would rather buy, say, Mark's files for $5, $6, whatever, and then just run out and make something really cool. I don't want to design, and that's legit. Other people want to learn to design. They don't want to buy mine. That's also legit. It's totally fine. And there's people in the middle who want to learn how to design by taking Heather's courses and then also buy some of my files. All of that's legit. We want to help you get to wherever you want to be. We're good with it. So,
and you don't have to stop buying files. Like, I still buy files all the time. And I personally, like, the most of the reason I buy files is because of my customers coming to me and saying like, oh, I really like this design, and I will not recreate somebody else's design.
Yeah, me either.
So I'll tell them I'll put their own spin on it, something like that. But if they come to me and they want something very specific, I'm buying that SVG from that designer. And then when I post my work, I'll post that I made it, but that somebody else designed it. Because then you give somebody else a shout out. What's the file cost these days? Like $35, unless it's like something crazy. Yeah. But you get to pass the word along about like somebody else's work, and then eventually it gets paid back to you. So that's what I really love about the design world, is that like it's community over competition. Like, I'm never going to be the only designer. Mark's never going to be the only designer, but we all have our own styles. We all have our own things that we love to create, and we all support each other in the meantime. And it's so fun.
It is so much fun. I already told you, but I love that we got a chance to hang out together. It's been really cool just to get to know you better. And also several people in the chat here, Victor or Hector, sorry, whichever you go by these days. But there's been so many people that I just have admired for several years. And the fact that I get to call you guys friends is awesome. And we all believe in the whole community over competition, because if you look at it, the reality is in some way I'm taking potential business from Heather and vice versa, but we don't care because we're also smart enough to know that the world is huge. And you know what? When we help people, it'll come back around.
Exactly.
Absolutely come back.
And that's how we both got to where we are. Like, that's my like biggest thing that I always mention, is that the reason that I am where I am is because of the communities. Right. Honestly, on Facebook. Like, I'm not even going to say like anywhere else. It's because of the Facebook communities that I was able to not lose my mind when I didn't know what I was doing with my Glowforge, or wanted to throw my Glowforge out the window, like that kind of stuff. But some of my best friends these days are people that I didn't know 3 years ago, and I met through the Facebook groups. I'm moving to Florida to go live with my friends that I didn't even know 3 years ago.
So now me and Will know that we have to at least come to Florida, if not move there. We got to come there more often.
Yes. Well, I think I'll be closer. Now I just got to get like Liz Rivers to come down. We got like a couple of people else.
Liz is in here too. I love it. Liz is here. By the way, I'm just going to throw a bunch of things on the screen. There's some good questions, but I just, I love this. the philosophy is we want to help people outgrow the need for our service is a really good sign. That's
I love
honestly, there nothing makes me more happy than to see someone say, because here's for me, if they reach the goals that they have, I'm thrilled. That you know,
I
that's
love
great.
that. Yes.
Absolutely.
Because we both know there's no better feeling
Yeah.
personally than getting to that moment. So being able to see somebody else experience that moment, it's like, there it is. Like, now you understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, because, you know, we haven't been in person in a long time with COVID and junk like that.
Right.
This last weekend, having these hangouts here in Oklahoma, I got to hug a bunch of people and it was great. If you're not a hugger, sorry about that. I'm also really, it's more than one person walked up and said, you are a lot taller in person than online. And that is a fact.
That is
I
a fact.
am. It's
Definitely.
like,
it's the one thing that I noticed when I walked into the conference in Sacramento. I was like, there's Mark. I already know because he's real tall.
Chewbacca over there, or a Sasquatch, right? Whatever. Absolutely. There's a couple ones. Lisa asked this. I'll let you field it because I know you know the answer.
Yes. Can I design on Cricut software and load in my Glowforge to cut my creation? Does Cricut export to SVG?
No,
I don't think
design.
I was gonna say I don't think Design Space export, so you'll need to use a design software that will export your SVG. Right.
And by the way, let me clarify that too. If you're using the Glowforge, it doesn't require just an SVG. It can be I'm back up again. Vectors can be SVG, PDF, or DXF. Either one of those three. A lot of people think it has to be SVG, and it doesn't. It can be one of those three.
It has to be in correct form if it's an SVG, though. Like, you can't just open a JPEG, save it as an SVG, and then
all day, every day that happens to me. You know, people are saying that. So Lisa, no, you can't use Cricut. Now, there's kind of a couple clumsy steps that honestly, hey, this is my live. I can say what I want, right?
Yes. Is there a loophole? Are you loopholing?
I guess. You can create something, screenshot it, and then you can do a trace feature and take it into something else. And I just tell people, hey, if you're in this for the long run, now, if you're just trying to get something done real quick, that's fine. But if you're in this for the long run, like I hope you are, I suggest that everybody that you get your choice of vector software and learn it. Because the whole screenshotting of things and tracing it with, online tracing and blah, 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 that's going to bite you in the butt eventually.
And it's a lot of extra work.
It is.
That you don't need if you can just put a couple hours into learning the design side of anything, even the free program. Like, Inkscape is free. Like we said, Inkscape's free. Silhouettes. I think Crystal confirmed Silhouette's $100, right?
Yeah. So, and let me make sure that in case I wasn't clear, I'm not taking cheap shots at anybody. We all are where we are, and that's awesome. Yes. But going forward, I would encourage everybody to just take a deep breath and jump into something and start learning it as you go, because you'll be happy in the long run. Maybe a few hours or even a few days or weeks of a little frustration, but you'll get there for sure.
And then you're investing in yourself, and you can tell your clients that now you offer a more customized side of things, which opens up an entirely new realm for people most times. Yes, way taller. He is way taller.
Yeah, I know. In fact,
especially for us short people.
I don't know if did you see any of the cosplay pictures from this weekend?
Yes, I did.
So we had Darth Vader and a TIE pilot and a stormtrooper there just to take photos with, and then Chewbacca, and then a bunch of normal people, So yeah, but honestly, it was great.
Normal people.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, right. When God made me, he's like, I'm going to give him double talls, and then he's just going to be dumb in some other areas. So that's. Let me see if I can catch some more questions here real quick, guys. You got a lot of great questions here. I want to grab them if I can, and if you see any, definitely call them out. Bo said this. I think this is good too. The best advice I found, this is about choosing a laser, is to determine your budget and don't exceed it and dive in. You'll find great folks like these two to help you in a very affordable manner. Thank you for that. But I definitely agree. Heather, you agree on the budget as well?
For sure. Yeah. Please set your budget and be real with it. Yeah. Don't put yourself in a spot where you think like, oh, I'll just go hard or go home and I'm hoping
No.
I'll make it all back. Like,
No.
don't put yourself in a bad situation. Not saying you can't and won't make your money back. Just make sure that you're prepped for not making your money back immediately. Because that's
Right.
where we see a lot of people that are like, oh, I bought my laser and I was really hoping to pay it off in 3 months and I didn't, and I'm panicking. And like, you'll get there, but
Yeah.
don't make that your goal where you
No.
think that you're going to be debt free in a couple of months and your delay's just going to print money for you and there's not going to be all yeah.
But if it does, would you please message both
Yeah,
of us?
right. If you figure that out, please let us know.
In fact, let me address that too. You kind of flirted with the topic here of do your homework, ask a lot of questions when you're looking at a laser, because one of the things I've noticed, a phrase that I know we all say with a smile, but it's kind of dumb sometimes, is the whole go big or go home thing.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's a mistake. I mean, I got the biggest laser I could afford, but I also have been doing this for several years and I now know what I'm doing. When I started, I had no idea what I was doing.
Same.
And I see a lot of people do that with the Glowforge specifically. And they say, go big or go home when it comes to the pro versus the
Yeah.
plus or the basic. And I think that's largely a mistake. Here's what I mean. The go big or go home part is a mistake.
Correct.
That's
Yeah,
the
'cause
part.
you don't always, especially for Glowforges, depending on what you're making, you don't need the pro.
No, you do not. Yeah.
Mm.
In fact, if you guys have followed my work at all, 100%, I mean, not 99, 100% of my designs, I have 350 some odd designs, are made on or for a Glowforge basic.
Yep. The
Okay.
only plus that I really well, so again, I'm gonna go hard or go home because that's just how I am.
Right.
But the reason I went for the pro, not the basic at the time, was the timeline. I
Oh,
didn't I didn't
yeah,
want to,
yeah.
but I really did. Aside from that, I never used my pass through for anything project related. I did use my pass through for buying 23-inch sheets and
Okay.
cutting them down to Glowforge size. So like
Yeah.
that, I really liked that about the Glowforge. But 100%, like I never once ever used my Glowforge Pro for a large project. Like I could have been a basic, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, as long as I was okay with waiting. Do we know what the wait is for the basics these days?
I do
I
not know right now.
that it's going to take longer, so you should just buy yourself a pro game.
Yeah, that's tough because I think the price is what is it? It's still $3,000 different.
Yeah, I think it's
And
like
to me,
4,995 for the basic, and is it
is it
7,995 or 8,995?
four? I honestly I can't
I
remember.
don't know. We're just going to be naming numbers, just yelling.
Yeah, but I would say if I had the money for a pro, if I had $7,000, I would be looking at a Mira 7 or a Mira
For
5.
sure.
Yeah, I
For
would.
sure. As long as I had space for it, I would never go the Glowforge route if I could.
If you have that kind of money, right? That's what
if I could budget a little bit more,
yeah,
and get a Mira or get any commercial size laser over a Glowforge just for speed alone.
Yep.
And rotary capabilities.
Right. Okay. So Lisa was asking, is Glowforge a good starter? Well, I think the answer is yes, and I will go a little further than that. Depending on what you want to make, it may be well beyond a starter. Like it may not be one that you're trying to replace. It might be. So the answer is maybe, right?
Yeah.
Because I do this for a living and I have 3 Glowforges and I use at least one of them every day still. So it really depends.
I started with a Glowforge and I within 9 months had a Mira 9 and that's all I've had ever since.
Right. So it really depends on what you make.
Totally. Yeah. And even mine, honestly, I think anybody that does know me, like I don't love making the things. I like making the designs for the things. So I didn't really need a 9. Like I could have been fine staying with what I had, but the time factor was major for me because it was just testing files alone.
Oh, and Debbie, let me say this. Debbie makes a very good point, and this is extremely valid. She says, I use my pass-through every day. I even slide my 12 by 19-inch sheets in through it to maximize everything.
Yep, I forgot I used to do that. Good call, Debbie. I like that.
That's a great call. And see, here's somebody who is making use of what she has and enjoying it, which we both think is fantastic.
Yes.
That's great. We don't want to talk anybody out of that. What we do want
I would never talk anybody out of Glowforge, especially because of the size and the ease.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people are interested. Like when it comes to the commercial side of things, like then you're talking about aligning and mirrors and things that Glowforge really doesn't set you up for knowing.
Because you don't need it.
Right. Because it's all in the same housing or whatever. But then you get to a point where customer service aspect, if your Glowforge goes down, you can't fix it. So oftentimes you can't fix it. I don't want to say you can't fix it because sometimes you can. But yeah, so there's, just like we said, make sure you do your research, put your pros and cons out there, make sure that you're comparing customer service and the machine itself and all that stuff. That way you know what's going to fit your future lifestyle better. Hi, Emily. Mom's here.
We love you so much. We are glad when you show up, we sit up straighter. You know what kind of
basic is 3,700 and the pro is 4,700. I thought it went up.
No, pro is 7.
I was gonna say I think the pro is 6,995 now, right?
I think they mean the plus, not the pro.
Oh, the plus. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah. So 3,700, 4,700, and then
7. I think it's 69.99, something like that. Yeah. Do you remember when they first came out? Or I think they still do this. They said they'd say list price like $10,000 and they cross it out.
We're marking it down.
Oh, hey, I will let you answer this, but we can both do it. You ready?
Oh, absolutely. Listen. So
listen.
I'll put this out there because some know, some don't know. I am an Eon partner. I am proud. I am more than proud of being an Eon partner for so many reasons. But the number one reason that I am so proud to be an Eon partner is because of their customer support. Yes. I got my Eon. I don't. Anybody that knows my Glowforge days, I went through 4 Glowforges in a matter of 6 months. I have a very black, very dark cloud that just hovers over my laser world. So when I got my Mira, just like the black cloud days, I had problems with my Mira. I went through 3 controllers. They overnighted me things. They were on the phone with me, FaceTiming with me. And I don't think I made it. So they got that first issue ironed out within like a couple days. I was up and running for a couple of months. I had another problem. And the next problem that I had, they flew me a tech. Yeah. From Florida to Philly on my front step. He stayed here for 2 8-hour days servicing my machine, showing me things that I didn't know, teaching me how to check certain things. And that's not the first time they've flown me a tech. They flew me a tech a couple months ago because I was having a couple of issues with things rattling inside my machine that they called my machine a fossil. But they have the customer support is so above and beyond. Like I can't even rave about it enough.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's crazy.
And let me add to my story. So they have amazing support. David, is it Tahara? I'm trying to remember his last name. But David, one of their techs. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but yeah. I mean, now I haven't needed support in a really long time because the machine is great. The machines are great. But when I was first setting it up, let's be honest, a lot of times the problems that people have are customer problems.
Yes.
And I will say that several of the support calls I needed were my fault in the end. But they were so patient. And I don't know if they want us to say this kind of thing or not, but I'm going to anyway, is David, I sent in a message on a Sunday, fully expecting someone to call me on Monday, maybe. And I got a FaceTime call like in an hour on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean.
And they'll spend like, I think the one day they called me, and this is like back in their like early days. I think I spent like 2 hours on the phone with like FaceTiming, trying to figure out alignment. So my machine's, my laser's name is Eonce, because she's an Eon Mira 9, but we joke because she's a diva. So she got her name because she's a diva.
Do you give her a Snickers every now and again? Just, hey, you're a diva.
Like, calm her down.
But okay. And I will say this, I absolutely love the company. They're amazing. You can't pronounce it Eon, folks. It's Aeon. I mean, I know this, but come on.
I trained myself not to say Aeon. So what was really funny is when I named Eonce, what I named her, I thought she was Aeonce.
Yeah.
And I joked that she was before Beyonce because it was Aonce and then Beyonce. It was like a joke. And then I was like, oh man, it's not even. And then I was like, oh, it rhymes now. Like I was like, no, Eonce and yeah, Beyonce.
Dang it.
It's
Right.
fine. It works.
So all, if you can't tell, we love them. We think they're great.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be honest. There are other great companies too, but these are the ones that we have had personal experience with that we love. We could name some other ones too that are that have great machines. But if you're asking us for our experience, this is what our experience has been. And all of us are affiliates with them. All of us. So all I would say is, if you decide to get one, hit up Emily, hit up me, hit up Heather, whatever, whoever you want, and let us lead you and get you taken care of, because we'll get you hooked up. It'll be great.
And please know that it's not because we're partners that we're saying these things. Like I'm all like we said, we're also Glowforge affiliates. We're also like you're getting my opinion of them. You're getting all of it. Like if there was a bad part, you'd get that too, because I will never take any kind of commission or affiliate payout or anything on a product that I'm not giving you my 100% factual opinion on.
Absolutely. And if I could think of something bad to say, I would share it without any shame at all.
For sure.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you one. It's really stupid. Honestly, it's really dumb. I'm ready for them to take online orders.
Oh.
And Emily's over there shaking her finger at me. I know she is, because I ride this horse every chance I get.
M said, Eon, Mark.
Oh, I know. Y'all can say it wrong as much as you want. I don't care. I mean, it's like me saying my name is Jim and I pronounce it Mark. You know, whatever you want. I'm kidding. We think it's great. We'll move on from that topic, but we just think they're really excellent. And if you're considering another laser or a first laser, it's great. One last question I'll answer for her. She said, I'm on the Eon website. Which starter do you recommend? Honestly, Heather, I'll get your opinion here on this too, but our answer is probably going to be, it kind of depends on a couple things. What is your budget? And you don't have to share that if you don't want to. But if your budget is a concern, then that's going to help you figure out which one and what you're going to be making and your space, right? Because like the 9 and then some other ones are really large. So if you don't have a lot of space, then maybe the 9's out of your reach, or some of the Novas or some of the other ones. So Lisa, it really depends on your budget and your space. As far as what they can all do, obviously there's different wattages, different bed sizes. If I were you, boy, you know what? Without knowing your budget, I just can't say. I really can't.
I would say either if you really want to go the Eon route, a 5 or a 7 is probably your best bet for a starter.
And if you can afford a 7 over a 5, do that. Yeah.
As long as you can fit the 7, it's within your budget. You've weighed out the pros and cons of everything else.
Yeah.
My recommendation would be a 7 over a 5. But again, like Mark said, budget comes into play heavily.
Yeah.
What you'll be making also comes into play, because you may not need a 7 if you're only doing like certain things. So
now, remind me, I think the 7 and 9 have the built-in chiller, correct? And the 5 doesn't? Is that right?
The 9 does. I don't think the 7 has a built-in chiller.
Victor asked if they have a 1.
No.
No. Well, it's called the Nova. No, it's not. I was going to go up to the next one. Okay, well, they do have a long lead time right now. That's true. They're working on making that shorter, but that is true. It's a long lead time.
So, like you mentioned, they are working on getting to the point where they have lasers ready to ship as you order them. It's just because of the way that Eon works. I don't know if anybody knows how Eon Laser USA works, but the machines get shipped in from China by boat, and then they get rewired to USA standards in Florida. They're in Melbourne, Florida. So there's a whole process that comes in for quality control that Eon really takes an extra step to make sure that your laser that just came from China and is now here and has made this long journey. They make sure that you're getting a machine that's intact, that's going to work properly, and that you have a person that's always there to reach out to if you need help with anything.
Yep, it's great. So, you know, one of the things I know we both love about these lives is we really don't have much of an idea what we're going to be talking about because we take questions. So this has been great. We didn't mean to turn it into an eon or even just a laser conversation, but honestly, if that's what people need, we're there for it. So one more thing is I'll throw this up. There is a wait time if you order today. So, okay, that's good. Yep.
What's it? Is it October? Yeah, I think the 9's probably February-ish, I think.
Yeah, probably so. We'll tell you what, I'll ask in front of everybody. Heather, can we have you on again sometime?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have Heather on again sometime. So thank you. We'll pick her brain on some more Illustrator and Procreate stuff in the future. That'd be really cool. But always, we will both try to keep track. I know that a lot of you can't have watched this live, so you're watching it on demand later. If you have questions, drop them in the chat there. We'll do our best to keep up. Just give us if we don't see it right away, but we'll do what we can to answer questions. I am going to throw her YouTube on the screen here for just a moment, and then also her Procreate courses as well. So if you guys haven't already, go to there on YouTube and subscribe and like and leave a bunch of nice comments. That would be great. And then also go check out glowcreatecourses.com. I think that would really help a lot of you. So check that out. Heather, any last words that you want to fit in for bingo? Any just random things you want to say?
Join me. You can join the Facebook group. I have a Procreate Facebook group as well that you can join if you want to. And that's it. I'm always around in direct messages or private messages. If you want to send me questions, if you need help with anything, that's what I'm here for.
Love it. Heather, my friend, it's good to see you. We got to do this again soon, and we got to come and do another conference together. We're going to make that happen.
I can't wait.
All right. Heather, you stick around for just a second. Everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you in the groups. Hit us up if you need anything and go create some cool stuff. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. Talk to you later.
Thanks for joining.